All right, I'm pretty sure we're live, but I'm just gonna double check all my stuff. Okay. Okay. Check, check, check. Audio, check, check, check. All right, cool. Alrighty. Anyway, so this is going to be video one, live stream one of the Pass a 50K challenge live. Basically, the goal is to just do it from start to finish, document all my trades. Some trades I may not be able to do live if I'm not trading on my desktop here, where the trade settings are most optimal. I'll try to do recaps and stuff of those trades, obviously good or bad, and just post them as YouTube videos. Or maybe I'll go live, maybe so that way it's all like a cohesive, um, what do you call it? Cohesive place for the videos to live, instead of having to go back to videos and then live, whatever. So yeah, so let's just get started, I guess, with today's analysis. I'm not looking for the market to go much higher. I don't really want to trade it up higher. I do have some upside targets. The reason why I don't want to see it go higher per se, and also I probably should have started this a little bit before 9:30 so we could lock in. But basically, if we start to go high um, and start to take out, highs, it doesn't make a lot of sense for us to not continue to sweep these low resistance highs. Like if you look how ES is built, and then boom, we're pretty much right back at all-time highs. So if we're going to sweep this high or this high, I don't see why not the market wouldn't just rip through. It's a possibility, but again, like if we're going to remain heavy in the market, I much rather us just kind of remain heavy. We hit this new week opening gap objective. Um, you saw all the back and forth, like, this is pretty balanced. This was like a pretty slow, choppy descent. I don't feel like we need to really go up into here. And again, if we do start to move into this area, even though it's 50% of the range, it's around that area. Like I think it's right here is around 50% of the whole daily range. I don't know. I don't see it. I don't see it being necessary, especially when I don't think it has to really collapse far, far lower from here. Um, I guess we'll quickly go through. So on a weekly chart, this is where the SMT is. So SMT on this low compared to NASDAQ, right, not taking the low. Then we had some small daily SMT here, right, where from here to here, here to here, and that kind of fueled this kind of run up. So I'm thinking the new week opening gap was the objective. I'm not interested in trading it higher. You can see all these 4-hour expansion candles. No real retracement. So yeah, I mean, we're at least looking to trade into this range. Sorry, I have a little hair on my face. So yeah, we have some really low-hanging fruit objectives here on ES. Same sort of lows marked out on NQ. I think we at least make it into these gaps. If we are going to go higher, it wouldn't surprise me to just kind of leave all this alone and continue to trudge higher. And then we can take something out over here. So let's just get our bearings because I'm missing action. So noted, should probably get on stream a little bit earlier to go through the analysis with everybody. I mean, I knew what I was looking for, but obviously I want to talk it through with everyone. So let's just kind of be willing to miss some of this move here. We can always get on sides earlier. Let's now check the news. See what we have. Okay, so at 10 o'clock we have new home sales and then consumer confidence for March. We have Williams speaking at 9:05. So what I was looking for pre-market is on the 5-minute we did have this nice CSD on both indexes, but there was no SMT, so I wasn't really keen on taking it. I was watching this, or it was around 9, yeah. Just didn't really want to touch it. So we have these equal lows on the S&P here. NASDAQ did take that low, but that's not really frightening me away from a trade right now. Oh, I should explain what everything is. So these, I think I'm pretty sure you'll get it by this point. I just explained sort of, but not outright. These green boxes are new week opening gaps. I have the midpoint marked out. This is an old one. New ones, you'll see a dotted pink or a dashed pink line. That's, excuse me, for a weekly opening price. So yeah. Oh, and the other reason, that brings me to a decent point. So if we go to a weekly chart, we just entered the weekly fair value gap, taking, this high, and, also filling in the whole old new week opening gap. So it's also why I don't feel like we need to go too much higher. And if we do start to move higher on the day, I'll kind of mark out quarters of that weekly fair value gap and just kind of see what we reach for, look for some reaction at the lower quadrant. Let's see, NQ, finding some support. So yeah, relatively choppy action right now for the morning. No SMT on these highs. Oh, also, if you see these stickers on my notes, that's because I use a breathe right, or like a intake breathing band. I should actually put that into the link in the bio because I have a code with them as well. Because everybody at my gym always asks me if they work. So I finally got a code. But yeah, that's what these are for. Yeah, I'll put the link in there. Maybe I'll do that right now. Let's hit edit. Can I do that while this is running? Plug the brand. Let's do intakebreathing.com. I'm pretty sure that's what my code is. Let me just double check. Yep. All right, cool. Cool. So yeah, so NQ's catching a bit off that midpoint of that new week opening gap. I have to figure out how to do links, like actual links in the YouTube bio, like, like hyperlinks, links that work, because I have my clothing brand link in there, and then also, obviously, now the intake breathing. So look at all these like low volume candles on ES, like gross, about like 9 o'clock too. All these gaps and stuff. So now let's see, because they're both rejecting the top end, something I want to pay attention to. Gonna mark out these hourly ranges. Yes, tap 50%. Okay, NASDAQ breaking out. Low resistance run here. If it gave me a retrace, so this is how I would think about like a scalp trade. Maybe not anymore actually, because ES is so slow to catch up. But if ES was moving a little bit better, well, actually, so these lows, I call these like low time frame. Well, if we look here, you'd probably be able to see it. Yeah, all these tweezer tops, I don't really believe in those. These are like low time frame signatures that would keep me out of short trades when I see this type of action. So that would be a quick long scalp if I got a nice little retracement into here, or you could use this as a breaker. But because we did take this swing, I'm kind of a little hesitant, and my bias, like I said, is short, so let's just try not to trade every single move. So these little signatures, they make it really difficult to get involved as well, though, because in my mind, we're coming for these. And then at the same time, we have a bias setup, right? So we have SMT, SMT, yeah, SMT, SMT. Obviously, we're looking short. Most of the time, I just kind of enter that as soup. Like I'll just kind of get involved, or if I move to the low time frames, you could use this as a CISD, change in stated delivery. Well, that's really this one down here, right? And you'd be short pretty much here and risk over the protected high, right? The SMT high. But that's nothing I kind of wanted to touch because of these low time frame tweezers, and I just don't. I don't know. I don't subscribe to the fact that these get really left alone. And there's no, well, now there is, but there was no SMT either, in this leg. And we have all those low volume gaps on the S that I feel like need to be cleaned up too. So we'll see now. You have NQ touching up this equilibrium of its range. And a strong move off that too. So I have a pretty relevant swing low here. I'm gonna stab one here. Let's see. Real tight risk, just over that high. With these equals. I'm just trying to stop me out and then run to it. All right, that's fine. Was that a dumb stop? Yeah. It's my fault. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I want to be on sides with the short. I saw this as a potential really tight risk entry, using this up close candle and that swing as the a high if it was just going to probe into that 1 minute and then bounce away. I don't love this setup in terms of trading away from these highs. So that's going to make getting into a short difficult for me, even though we do have the protected SMT. I think news may drive us up higher. Then I'm like forced to wait until 10 o'clock. It's a little chilly. So we'll just hang out. Again, this sucks because I'd like to get involved in the short side. I hate the way it looks. And so then I could rationalize taking it in terms of saying, well, okay, like maybe I'm wrong in terms of mm, the depth of how far down it goes, when we're looking at like a 4 hour chart, even though we just swept this high, held this up close, it's kind of a decent setup for a 4 hour, but you could rationalize it and say like, oh, I might be wrong in that time frame. But maybe news takes us up. Maybe news, then invalidates this current run. Maybe the timing's wrong for that full downside run. Little SMT here on the small time frames, but I'm not gonna bite. battling the urge to get long right now. Really small SMT, but SMT nonetheless at two key spots. So ES taking lows into the midpoint of its new week opening gap, NQ holding lows at 50% of its hourly range. Had this tight little gap here, and piece of me wanted to kind of crack one just to hold up into these highs for news. A little one contract get even, and then resume the rest of the day. But we're gonna refrain. I feel like that's the one thing I really need to work on, like personally, is not taking all these trades, that I see, and they may be good, just trying to get a feel for what it's, to let things pass by, just because I have an idea, or, there's a solid trade idea doesn't necessarily mean I have to take it. So that's kind of the one thing that I'm trying to work on. It's cold. It's got me yawning a whole bunch. I got like some chills. So yeah, that was a nice little trade there. SMT on those lows. This is like the daily chart. This is like how the daily kind of, it's actually almost like spitting image. If you go to the NQ on the lows and ES on the lows, it's pretty much how the daily rally started. So ES continuing to make lows, NQ making these like gross sort of equals, but like barely taking it. Chilling. Regretting not taking a long. Regretting not being impulsive. It's a fine line when you're trading. Like knowing when you're kind of being a little too jumpy, or when you're seeing something that, is relatively clear, and, taking the risk. That's, I think, the hardest part of all of it, is deciphering when you're in each frame of mind, you know. And I don't know if there necessarily ever is a way to do that, because you're either right or you're wrong. So I think most of the time, if it aligns, like, you kind of just have to take it. Part of it is I hate to use the gamble word, but part of it is just the gamble, uh, plenty of confluence, reasons to take along. It's just against what my brain wants, so I chose not to. And then rationalized it by saying, oh, well, you know, that's against my bias, so I'm not going to trade it. Funny stuff. this is the one boring part about the series that I realized pretty much nobody's going to be here, at least in the beginning. So I'm basically here just yapping to myself. And there's points where I'm just not doing anything, you know, kind of out of the market and just waiting for something to happen. And yeah, I go on my phone, but that's not very fun for you to watch. So I'm kind of trying to keep an eye on if there's anybody in the chat or something. So, if anybody has any questions or whatever, please feel free. You can entertain the both of us while we wait. Another SMT on those 1 minute highs. I'm not touching it though. We also have just a second before news. It's becoming clear that this thing almost seems like it really wants to kind of rally up higher. I don't know if I really want to switch my bias because I'm not sure where it wants to go. I can mark out this high. I could do the same for this high on ES. And that's pretty much it. Or maybe it just wants to, like I said, maybe it just wants to manipulate one more time to the upside before moving lower into those 4-hour imbalances, like here. That's what it feels like on this push up. It's kind of choppy open, rally it up, and let it go from there. But we'll just kind of watch and be prepared for anything. Definitely see us finding support by that hourly equilibrium. And Q by the top of its new week opening gap. News release might just rip us up. Yeah. All right, well, we manipulated these highs. ES not doing much. Let's see if it wants to play catch up. It may be lower. Lower may be the move. ES definitely seems weaker. I had all the news hitting my phone. Consumer confidence came in lower than expected. So we try to catch that. Just gonna take a floater here. One micro. Until some more structure appears, but I'm just gonna rip that just in case we start to really take off. Reasoning, order block. This should be a propulsion block. So I want it to move away quickly here because I don't want it to come up and test this, half the wick. Like I feel like we should just kind of dump, especially if ES is heavy. I really don't want to see it moseying around much. I really don't like the SMT and support at this new week opening gap between the two indexes, and NASDAQ being still stronger. That's still not good. I just kind of wanted to take off here. Gonna add one more. Let's see it accelerate through these lows. I knew that was going to be a problem. This gap, that's why I erased it, because I really don't actually want to look at it. I'm okay with the ad there. I just want us to accelerate. I just feel like we really got to go now. Look to partial one at these lows, or at least we'll pay closer attention to it. Still the SMT. Let's let it just run here. Come on. Stay heavy. A lot of hesitation. Very low resistance here as well. I might. And then re-enter here. Probably. So I have to put the stop in tight here because of the SMT on the lows. Yes, I'm willing to re-enter at the 1 minute here. Unless that's a breakaway, actually. My stop is in a poor position. Sorry, my cat's trying to get up on my lap. Gross, dude. Yeah, NASDAQ just strong. I'm gonna get stopped here. It's annoying. In hindsight, I guess if I was down, what I really should have done was partial there. After seeing the SMT on those lows, I just was hoping that NASDAQ would melt through them. Tough. I don't know if you guys see this cat right now. I don't know. Today seems dangerous. Danger, danger, danger. I have my trading view up over here, so that's why I'm looking over there. The 2, the 3. Just gross. Again, not a high that I love to trade off of here. SMT though. Do we try to rip a get back? Seems dumb. Seems impulsive. So we're brushing up against the 10 o'clock open. Just watching the 1 minute wick there, the news wick. I like how we're rejecting the new week opening gap high. Don't like how we're holding this fair value gap. I'd like it to invert it. And I want some follow through before I really start to partial here. Like yes, I'm trying to scalp into some profit at this point, just to kind of cut away some of this red of the trade. We're gonna close that out, I think. Let's wait a second. Watch the reaction here at what I would deem an order block. I like the gap down. Volume imbalance down is not bad. Just nothing. This is just ugly. I'm really holding on to the trade because of the bodies here. Holding up this, new week open, this old gap. So let's just give 50% of the wick a chance. I'm gonna put in a couple there. Yeah. Uncomfortable. Definitely uncomfortable. We're gonna try to get away from this one a little bit. Pretty much scratch on this trade if it taps me out. Just don't. I don't know. Something about it just feels like it could be one of those run against you hard, like to the upside. Just counter my bias. Yeah, pretty much a scratch trade. Averaged into the midpoint of the wick. Looking for it to save us. You have 10 o'clock open. just holding price here. And I'm not really ready to switch bias. So that could be it. That could be it. Yes, took its 10 o'clock high. Yeah, something just did not feel right. I mean, it's really just, it's the SMT on the lows. It's the fact that we kind of traveled back up to this wick. I didn't love. I don't know. Seems like it could be a choppy day. What is this? What? I have to also look at what news comes out this week. Durable goods tomorrow. Jobless Thursday and PCE. Core PCE Friday. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna look at the weekly chart on my trading view real quick just to see what this candle looks like. It may want to probe higher. I don't know. I'm gonna mark out quarters. Wow. Okay, so we're actually the high of today was actually the lower quadrant actually of both ES and NQ. Those highs are the lower quadrant of those weekly fair value gaps. The news wick actually tapped right into it as well on NQ. Hands are so cold. Yep. Kind of deathly slow grind here. We're rejecting that quadrant. Let me take this away and put this on. Give you a better idea of what I'm looking at on my trading view. Wow. Oh, you know, I hate this. I hate when the micro contract is out of touch with the regular NQ contract. So if we, so okay, so see how we haven't touched into this higher quadrant here, this line? If I switch this to NQ, and I go here. Okay, maybe I'm wrong. No. Yeah, you know, there's a discrepancy with Topstep X data and TradingView data. And it could be just because of roll. Let me see if I go to NQM here. Because I'm using NQ1 on TradingView. And it looks like NQM is going to be around the same thing, actually. Yeah, so it's just a discrepancy in their data right now, which is making charting very messy. And that's like a major peeve of mine, especially with these concepts. Like, you know, there needs to be cohesive data or else you have conflicting signals. Like on TradingView, these tops is this quarter point of the fair value gap of the weekly chart. So that's a bit annoying. Not a great close if this fair value gap is going to hold us down. Did I get rid of the newbie code? What's going on here? Did I delete that? Didn't mean to. Wait a second. Something is wrong here. Sorry, all my data is messed up. These weekly charts are like crazy different from, yeah, it's the wick. Oh, maybe that's why. Do I not have set on? No, actually, that doesn't matter. That's not changing anything for where I'm at. Oh, man, I hate that. That is frustrating. So still nothing much. Little 1 minute S&T here, and we're caught up in this gap. If we choose to go, these should be relatively protected. This thing might just go higher. Up we go. So typically I'm all over a short in here on the losing of this candle and the here, but I don't know, it just feels gross. Something about like all this action feels nasty. Like I don't care about the S&T from here to here. That's not really giving a whole lot of confidence. The bodies are staying within this fair value gap, which you could say is, confidence producing, but just the way the candles are printing, you can kind of see the bid, like, where we're catching bids doesn't, yeah, it just doesn't look convincing for shorts. It just looks like the market wants to just, like, it feels like we're going to get a pop, that's just going to take you by surprise. Just one large, pop candle where it's like everyone who trades these concepts are, piling on SMT, blah, 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 setting your stop, and then this thing just kind of rams through everything. It just doesn't feel good. It's too nervy of a hold. And that's like just kind of a screen time experience sort of thing. Like just look how messy that is. It took out these three highs, which was nice. That was kind of why I was thinking the way I was. These are like these very low time frame signatures, like all these equals that I just don't, I hate to see if I'm trying to take shorts. I'd rather it look messy like this. Still, I feel like it's really trying to sell this fair value gap down, and I like don't, I'm just not buying it. And by buy it, I'm not selling it. And by them selling it, trying to get me to, sell, whatever. You get the point. It's just fishy. Something's very fishy about it. Too slow. You do have like these nice 3 drives up, but still also I'm just not, I don't know, the spidey senses are going off. Doesn't feel right. And I don't really want to take a long in case it's like, oh, it was obvious, look at the bodies. So even if I was like really cowboy, I would be ripping along right now and trying to fade the flow, but nothing feels good right now. And we're down. We're down 64 bucks. So we don't want to dig our hole deeper with it's an easy P&L to get back. So just going to wait for the right moment. I got so many yawns today. Look at that nasty candle, man. Gross. So we either rip through or it comes in, retests, and dumps. I think it probably rips through. And but like why? You know what I mean? Like why not take that low? Like see how yeah, that's just not pretty. One of them days, short side just does not want to pay. And so then you would like to take a long, like, you know what I mean? Like, you see this as a change in state of delivery. Using this gap, and you could risk this low, but I hate how this low's here. All these low resistance lows. It's like really gross action, you know, there's really nothing, we're just not printing very clean to get like a smooth run, like, and really, you know, I mean, yeah, like it's presented itself there, but it just doesn't feel good. You know what I mean? It's not like one of those setups where the structure is also telling you like you're safe. You know, your stop is safe here. So hard to get involved. It's a day that, you know, we're seeing it clearly in terms of you know, directionally, at least in our shorter time bias. Like, you know, obviously I want it to go lower. That's like my day's bias, but I'm able to understand when I'm wrong in that sense of where, you know, this was a fishy, this was a super suspect SMT, not chasing this move down. You would have just gotten wrecked. But not being able to take advantage of, you know, these, which normally I am, um, these shorter term changes in price, you know, intraday, small swings, like little scalps, to where it's like, oh, I'm wrong here, but at least I could trade it up. I wouldn't take that trade because of the way the structure is. There you go. Sorry, you just see my forehead and my nose when I do that. We have SMT on like overall highs now on the day. But is ES really going to leave these little equals alone? I'm not sure. NQ, gross. You know what I mean? Like you would want to target all these lows for sure. So now we have the SMT. I don't know. It's a tough. This is a tough one. It would be good if I ripped it up here. Yeah, took the change in state here. Because that's the type of move where it's like I just want to see it continue to crumble, like no sort of retrace or anything. Quick little reclaim. Nothing, man. It's where the breathe right. Oh man, how good it is to breathe. Wow. Yeah, it's going up. I was kind of looking for the long around here, just didn't love it. Again, like these lows don't inspire a ton of confidence. That I don't like. So, whatever. Oh, and you had these equal highs. So I want to get involved in a little long here for ES to take that high, but really can't find the spot. It was going to be above this high. I just don't want to take any paper cuts right now for like no reason. There's your pop. These little equals. Keep you out of the shorts. So on the 1 minute, I like how we just tapped into the open and then immediately ripped back up. I'm hoping that it holds that and continues to go higher. That's why I chased the entry there for ES also to take those highs. Wow, where am I? Oh my God, I'm on NQ. Holy crap. All right, happy accident. Wow, that could have been terrible. Oh. um, all right. Cool that it worked. Um, terrible had it not. Sorry, I have hair in my mouth. Okay. Um, that's on me. Boy, I'm glad it worked. So I just would have hated for that to not work out because that's a stupid mistake. I'm better than that. That's why. Oh, okay. Okay. So I was like, I was wondering, I was like, where the heck did my new week opening gap go? Yada yada. And it's because I'm on the wrong contract. I wasn't on the micro contract. That's where it went. But Topstep sometimes does that where they'll move your drawings, or like the software will move your drawings a little bit. Anyway, wow. So on the 1 minute, basically what I had seen was this is another signature that I kind of like to trade or that I like to scout. We have the context of ES reaching for these equal highs, NQ. If we look here, we had equal highs as well. These keep you out of the short. We're building on these down close on the lower time frames. Again, when we went back and we saw that quick zip, zip, that's usually like I'll chase along there. Let's just mark it out actually. Let's mark out the open of that 1 minute candle. Okay, so we had that instant test and then an instant rip up. That's when we're going to get long. I was willing to, so here's why I'm glad it worked out, like why I was almost, a little disgusted that that's, we were on 3 full-size mini contracts because I was willing to eat drawdown in this trade. I was pretty confident that like, okay, if that's not my go signature, we'll prod into here, maybe here at the very most, but I would hold it because I was confident in the draw being up here and here. So that's why I'm kind of like, if it did go against me, say that trade didn't work out the way I imagined it to, like it did, that's a problem. Like, I'm not going to eat. I can't eat all that drawdown. I'd be flustered. Probably would have hit. I mean, that's $1,000 easily. I think we were in around here, 10. Yeah, like 600, 650. More money than I want to draw down on a stupid trade like that. Like, that's just supposed to be a scalp. It's nothing that's supposed to be too crazy here. So, that's why none of my drawings were there because I was on the wrong contract. Sheesh, fool. And there we are. So, yeah, happy accident. Glad it worked. But kind of disappointed because it could have been bad and I would have looked like an idiot. And I'm glad I didn't. It's also why I closed out of the position right away. Sorry, I have this damn hair. Got it, finally. It's also why I closed out of the position right away. I feel like I didn't really deserve that one. In hindsight, obviously, what I should have done was close 2 of them and then let one ride with a stop at break even because we hit a lottery, So yeah. So I mean, theoretically, we could be done for the day. That's fine. We could start the challenge there. Stupid, man. Stupid, stupid, stupid. Glad it worked, but that's not a full. By the way, that's not a. Let's see what it looked like on the micros. Okay, micros, there was a gap here. That's the other thing I really hate. I hate how there's discrepancies in the candle data. So whatever. Good trade. Nothing wrong with the trade itself. Just poor in terms of being on the right contract. Like that's a mental error. That's on me. Nothing to really be super proud of. I mean, I'm glad. Look, analysis, good. Small time frame signature, great. You know what I mean? Recognizing these little things. Oh, and here you go. It wasn't even, you don't even have the equal highs on MNQ, which is also annoying. So typically that stuff should get fixed after it's like a week and a half, 2 weeks after roll. Like these discrepancies in data kind of go away. But yeah, that's annoying. Like why? So yeah, short little trade, 5 points literally. You can see here. It was just 5 points. So $300 on 3 micros. I saw that we were up like $300 in the trade. I'm like, that can't be right. Hell of a trade if we held it though, right? Would have been a better first day. But But yeah, I think we're gonna probably gonna call it there. I'm wrong on my like days bias. I don't see it. I don't know where we're supposed to go up any higher. I mean, obviously, I guess we're reaching for that high, but it doesn't really align with what I'm looking for. 4 hour, cool kind of immediate rebalance here, and then kind of took off. Yeah, nothing. I don't think there's anything for me today. So that works out, came out with a nice profit. Um, just can't really see it clear. So, little rehash. We did have the SMT within this gap. That was kind of our rocket fuel. So we have here. And let's just move here. Why? That's lame. Okay. So yeah, I mean, there you have it. Some SMT here on these micro lows, right? So from here to here, digging lower. NASDAQ from here to here, just holding. Same thing, news hits, we come up, blah, blah, blah. SMT again, digs once more into that hourly fair value gap, and then just kind of takes off. And then it's like kind of gone slow, gross, grind up. Nothing I like to trade. And then we had the happy accident over here, where this is a signature that I look for. I don't look for it. If I see it, I'll trade it. But where we have that immediate retest of the open, and then a quick bounce up right here. And that was just because we had equals up there, and then also the target of ES here. Yeah. So it's a quick little touch. You're in. Obviously, if you want your risk to be super tight, I was willing to let the trade kind of go against me for a little bit, just because I was convinced that it was a slow grind kind of up, and ES was gonna meet this target. Obviously, it would not have been good if ES met that target and then and this never did anything and was just started to leak down. Then I would have to close out the trade. But typically, your risk would just be below that open. Like you don't want to see it. Like it's a one wick move. It hits that open and then it should not come back. And then, sure, your immediate target is just the one-to-one scalp, like very small. But obviously would have held it had we not had 3 freaking minis on, because that's just stupid. Hell of a trade though, but not a trade. Not a trade that I would take at 3 minis. It's a valid trade, perfectly fine, but not a 3 mini trade. For this, obviously again, relative to account size, yeah, if you're trading a $500,000 account, you want to take a little, schmuck buck trade, then fine. You could take 3 minis on that $500,000 account, but this is a $2,000 account. So you don't take a 3 mini trade like that. That's dumb. That's poor management. So worked out for us because we're freaking awesome. Kidding, but not really. Kind of am. No, I'm kidding. That's, thankfully it worked out. All right, for all of zero watching, thank you for tuning in. I had a great time. Just kidding, it was awful. Sucked to sit through all this. Absolutely dreadful. Took a short here just to feel something. Dumb. I think we tried to get short again somewhere over here. Oh yeah. News. This was a solid short. I should have. We had SMT. We had the news manipulation higher. We talked through all this where we didn't like these kind of tweezer top highs and that they're technically BS and that the 10 o'clock move would probably manipulate higher. It did. So then when we got the strong close below and we had the quick retest and puke, back down, that's when I got short. I added another one over here. Once the SMT came around, this taking, ES taking that low. And NQ refusing and then seeing this as a very low resistance. That's when we kind of knew it was bad news, so we got out of that trade. Hindsight, I saw this. I just wanted to be right. You know what I mean? I'm susceptible to it too. I wanted to be correct, and plus it was holding little size. So I wanted this trade to work out to these blue lines, but whatever. Probably should have closed it. Would have been flat on the day there, and then our happy accident would have netted us a full 300. But yeah, so overall, I'd say we managed the day really good. It was just sucked to sit through because you have all these moves that are just fake news, and you would have to know that just through screen time. You know what I mean? That you just wouldn't get involved with this slop. We wouldn't take a short here, and that's all those micro signatures. So clearer on NQ contract, which remind me to get out of this. We're actually going to change that to, well, we won't because it's going to go back to whatever. These like smooth highs on these really micro time frames, BS, especially when there's a draw on, yes, BS, So yeah, hopefully it was helpful. We are going to change this back. And yeah, actually I'm going to get rid of, hopefully my brain realizes what I've done. And we don't make that mistake again with the new weeks. That's why I'm going to delete that. Make sure that'll be my cue. So we'll see you tomorrow. Right? What's tomorrow? Wednesday? This is just going to continue to bleed up, I guess, and I don't have any real knowledge of where it's going. We have that high marked up. We have the weekly fair value gap marked out in quarters here. I'm going to get rid of that. I don't even know what that is. I don't know. I hate the fact that TradingView is different here. Here, let's go here. Whoops. So if we are looking, all that hoopla, let's turn this off. Oh, sorry, I'm just meant to hide the indicators. All that noise was over here, right? So there's a difference. Let's go here, actually. I'll show you. I know I've said goodbye a million times, but I just want to get this through. So all of this was happening over here on the TradingView chart. So that makes decision making difficult when you use these lines to risk money. That's hard. Why can't we get that fixed, please? What the heck? So yeah, I don't know where we're going. I think we're going to go over here and then maybe over here and maybe over here for yes, or maybe it won't. Maybe it'll take this one and this one won't. Who knows, dude? I don't. I just paint lines and hit buttons. Anyway, That's it. Final goodbye. Get out of here. I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. See ya. I'll probably be back tomorrow. Later.